Welcome to the show. I'm Dan Watson.
And I'm Paul Sloggett. Welcome to the Dirt.
Let's bring the boy in. Any second. Here he comes.
Hello, mate.
Amon Shaw.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, very well. Nice to see you back in the lockdown shed.
Yes. Yeah.
Or not the lockdown shed.
No, it wasn't lockdown shed. Different shed.
Different shed.
Yeah.
Got an obsession with sheds, have you?
Yeah.
A shed purist.
Yeah.
Thank you for agreeing to come on tonight, mate.
No, it's a pleasure.
I know you're in recovery at the moment, but maybe we'll go into that a bit. But yeah, it's an absolute honour to have you on as formerly probably the first new school rider, I would say. You know, your came about a little bit after mine and Sloggett's sabbatical. And it's good to be representing for the youth, shall we say?
Well,
how old are you now, mate?
Old, like 26 now.
Fucking
I
hell,
don't like to say it. I do feel quite old.
It's not youth, but it's fucking young to us.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's absolute brilliant to have you on, mate. We really appreciate it. But enough about that. I mean, we could sit here blowing smoke up your ass, but we won't do that too much right now off the bat. I realised I probably should have introduced you as Nathan Jenkins.
Yeah,
as that was what you filled out your name with.
I'm trying to keep turning that into like a running joke.
But I am Nathan Jenkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's certainly got legs. It's ran for a long while.
Yeah, that's a bit Steve Burke backs the bone for that one.
I'm Nathan Jenkins. I'm Nathan Jenkins. No, I'm Steve Burke.
All the boys, all okay up there from at Tramper HQ? From what?
Yeah, good. I think I've not seen them for a little while now. Actually, no, I saw Nath like a week ago. He's good. I think everyone's happy. I think they're a bit annoyed because the Sunnies started this like five-a-side football thing. I say started, we did it once. It's quite funny. None of us play football, but it's kind of funny. But yeah, so there's 10 of us, and then I'm out of action at the moment, and they couldn't do it. So I think they're a bit annoyed at me. I haven't seen them since then, and they can't play football because there's not enough of them.
Any excuse for that boy to put his shorts and those little leggings on.
Exactly, yeah.
Does he wear those black Sondico shorts, does he?
Yeah.
Your mum wears Umbro.
Still, we could rinse him all day.
Too easy. It's too easy target. It's too easy a target. But when you see the boys, was that filming that little pump track jib stuff with Nathan?
That was a little while ago. Well, that was like 3 weeks ago, something like that. I'm afraid I'll say it now for anyone who enjoys looking at the Tramper Instagram or the YouTube. This next month is going to be a bit of recycled content.
Well, I tell you what, there's some cracking footage. There's some cracking footage from the last year. I'm trying to think. There were two lads went up some big mountain somewhere, done a range test, and yeah, there's some whoever they were. More of them. That's just what the world needs.
Really fucking handsome, if I recall. Like witty, charming.
I will definitely post some more of that.
Hey, we've got to start planning the next one, mate. We've got to start planning the next one.
Where do you want to go next? Have you had any ideas?
Because I have plans for the next year.
People might not know, but we did try to do another one, didn't we? But it was kind of a fail. Well, it wasn't a fail. It was a good fun day out, but we didn't really get a video out of it. But
yeah, yeah, about that day. We might as well talk about it because
Yeah, why not?
it was a success in that we summited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, what a day that was.
There was a lot of baggage with us, though.
A lot of baggage. There was a lot of baggage with everyone who was on that mountain today with those big old yellow rucksacks. So we're for the viewers, obviously we're jumping.
Yeah, explain
ahead.
what we're actually talking about.
We attempted and succeeded in summit in Penny Fan. When was that? It was back in September?
Early September, maybe.
Somewhere around then.
I don't know. I could get it up. Hang on.
Somewhere around there.
When I
But
say
basically,
hang on, I don't know how
Steve
quick I'm
Burke
gonna find
had gotten a tizzy about not being invited. I said to invite him. Slog said to invite him, but Amon said no. It will
25th
do.
of September.
25th of
Oh,
September.
quite late in September. Yeah, Eamon said after like the last Tramper video with him, he said he's never fucking working with him again. Stop. No matter what we said to say, look, come on, Steve's all right. Let's take him up Snowdon. You was like a dead no, weren't you? A solid no. You said he's a fucking diva.
Yeah. So we said let's have a rerun and we'll do it up. We'll do it up Penavan. I'm going to get that pronunciation right, just in case Chris Williamson is listening. Penavan.
Is that how you say it? You don't pronounce the F.
No, F is a V in Welsh apparently. Double F is F.
And 2 L's is a clan.
A CL.
Clan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had that on the first.
And a Y by itself is E.
Obviously.
Anyhow, Christ, we was on countries last time around with the PFC flags. Now the finesse of Welsh culture and language. We went up Penavan, and we took Steve Burke, Eamon, Slogs, myself, and Ted. And suffice to say, we turned up, and it was a SAS Selection. It wasn't the real SAS Selection. It was wannabes for all intents and purposes.
I think it was a charity event, wasn't it? Where the public paid to the services, and they had the people, the ex-SAS and like all that chasing them down on the hill.
Yeah, it wasn't a family day out though. They were all pretty like beefy looking.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Oh,
they were
proper meatheads.
Yeah,
their necks were the size of my thighs. But
they were all looking at us like with our boards, thinking like these guys are idiots. What are they doing? And we're looking at them the same.
But the thing was, we got there like we got there by about 5:30 in the morning, thinking, oh dear, park at the bottom. No worries, get up there, get up and down before we seen anyone on the hill like we did with Snowdon.
Yeah.
But we got there, the car parks were full. We had like big inflatable event tents. Like there was like loads of like vans there serving hot food and stuff, and like fucking flags at the bottom.
Yeah. Well, we should have done our research really. Maybe if we'd googled Penavan on that day, then maybe we would have found out.
Oh, well, you lives and learns. But we got we didn't get lucky with the weather in the morning. That's for sure. When we was trying to get up, it was just
and I don't think we would have been able to ride up it like we did on Snowdon as much.
No,
and it was
I think
a little bit, but it was like it was difficult, wasn't it?
Yes, some of those flagstone sections.
Just with the amount of dew, they were so slippery, weren't they?
Yeah, and those big drainage channels. It made it difficult very often. It was very stop-start. You might make like 2 or 3 of those drainage channels, and then there'd be one with a load of flagstones before and after it. But it just made it really super difficult.
That was the ascent, the descent, because we went up and over this time rather than going back down on ourselves, didn't we?
That's right.
And that was fucking pretty fucking gnarly, wasn't it?
Yeah, I got to say, I enjoyed the descent. I enjoyed the descent down to that sheep track, and we should have gone up again over the next peak, because but at least we'd have had another roll down.
Who was in charge of maps and routes, Stan?
I was in charge of maps and routes, but at that point in the day, there were other factors involved that meant we had to look to alternative routes. And to be fair, from the distance, that little track looked fine, but my goodness, that was like 3-foot boulders.
It was fun though, and I think because I didn't take my board up Snowdon. Well, I did try to at first, but I was like, it's going to be way easier filming these guys if I just ditch my board and go on foot. But on this one, we couldn't do that because we weren't going down the same way, and there was just so many people there. I couldn't have like hidden my board anywhere.
Yeah,
but I enjoyed it because then I could ride down the other side. But it was pretty much impossible to try and ride on that terrain and film you guys at the same time. So that's why we didn't have a video, really.
Yeah.
I'm to blame for that.
There's got to be like less than 5 minutes of footage from that, I reckon.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, I got some decent clips, but
yeah, there's a couple of clips. I was going to post one the other day, actually. I was sorting through. There's one of you going down that, like, it's quite a grassy section, like pretty wet. Yeah. And you're absolutely bombing down this hill. It looks so sketchy, but it's kind of a cool clip.
I think, had we have known, if the mist had cleared, we'd probably realised it was quite close to the edge in certain places on that, dropping off the side.
Yeah.
But then once we got over that sheep track area, if you will, I started having an absolute blast. The actual Roman road down from the end of that sheep track, down to the cafe, that was. I started really enjoying myself. Well, I was enjoying it the whole time, but I think we should have perhaps stuck to the original route. But it never be dismotivated in these. There's always, but I could always guarantee that anytime my head even thought about dropping, I'd look around and one of you two would be smiling. So it always makes it all right, and then it returns to my face.
Yeah.
But yeah, the afternoon was cracking though.
We went off and rode again, didn't we?
Yeah.
We got to the cafe and then was like, well, we might as well carry on riding now at this point. Just have fun.
Got a recharge, a cream tea and a sandwich.
Yeah. Claire met us with a board charge. Essentially, charged him up there, had a snack, off we went again.
We were so late. I think we aimed to get there for about 11 or 12 midday or something. I don't think we got there till like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah. She was sat there for hours, wasn't she, with no signal?
Yeah, phoning her mum, everyone. Try phoning Paul. I had messages. Crazy times, but that's the adventure. And I have to say, who was it? Shout outs to Jamie Deaton today. He posted up a video of him doing a local solo ride. And it was to a little summit somewhere. It had no soundtrack or anything. He walked some of it. He rode some of it. And it was just a real nice adventure. And sometimes it's good to have those solo ones. But also, it's great to have crew rides. I mean, I'll take Snowdon with me to the end of my days. I had such fun on that. I always knew it would be. Always knew it would be. But yeah, onto the enough about talking about our stuff. We need to be talking about your stuff, Mr. Amon #Nathan Jenkins Shaw from East Markham in Nottingham.
Yes, big East Markham.
That's it. East Markham crew. Is that the way around, or is it that way around on the screen? I don't know. It all comes out flipped and reversed. Yeah. Have you always lived there?
Well, my parents have, and this is where I grew up pretty much. I think we lived at another house like down the road when I was very young. But I moved away when I went to college when I was like 15, 16, something like that, in Nantwich in Cheshire, not far away from Hart Hill or Super Bowl or.
But were you riding boards before you moved to Cheshire?
Yeah.
So you're riding down.
Yeah. What age did you get into riding? What age in the year?
Maybe 13 or 14, I want to say. I reckon 2000 and 2009-ish, or just before, because I went to Bugs in 2009 to like World Freestyle Champs. I think it was like Battle of Bugs or something it was called, and ended up entering that after just a year of riding. And I remember being here like in the garden riding those little, the little black Argos kicker things.
Yeah,
the little plastic ones.
I've got 3 of them out in the front garden for the kids.
Yeah, they're wicked. But I remember having one of those and like just trying to land a 180. I was like, I'm going to enter this competition and do a 180, and I don't know whether I did a 180 or not in the competition, because when I got there, the jumps are absolutely enormous compared to all those little ones. But that's how I kind of like. That was like that event. I think was like kind of an eye-opening thing to like what the sport was. But way before that, do you want me to tell you the story of like?
Yes, we want the genesis.
We want to hear your history of mountain boarding, your little crew that you hung around with.
I was trying to think, and I don't know where it was, but MBS used to do these like demo things. You probably know what I mean.
Yeah.
And there was one at like a game fair, and we were on holiday at the time with my mum and dad and my brother, and went to this game fair. And saw the MBS demo, and I was like I want to have a go at that. And I think it was Reese Crilly who gave me a lesson for the first time. He was there and like showed me how to do it. And then it wasn't far away from Out to Grass. And then Reese or whoever it was like, oh, you should, if you're like around in the area for the week, you should go to Out to Grass and check it out. So I think like me and my brother were like begging my parents, like, please, let's go to Out to Grass.
Oh,
so
Reese Crilly, your job is done. Well done, man.
Yeah. And then
big up.
Wait, this is even more for those guys. But I went to Out to Grass and then had to go on a board. And I'm pretty sure like my parents have like bent over backwards for us when we were kids getting into it. But like we're pretty sure we spent most of the days of the holiday from that point just getting to Out to Grass and riding there. Which is awesome. And then it kind of links, like it's all a bit hazy. I don't know what was what, but I remember going to Bugs boarding, and that was kind of linked with Rennie Miles. My mum actually knows his mum, and he's like only a few miles down the road. So she had like spoken to her or something, and like got Bugs boarding was on the radar from that point. So he went there with Rennie for a weekend.
What, in his bright red postal van?
No, I don't know, because maybe it was before then. We went to the Battle of Bugs, and that's where I met Rennie. I'm not sure, but like in those early years, I did used to like Rennie used to come and pick me up in his van, and we used to head off to like on weekends to go to concerts and stuff. And I was pretty young, but and then one of those very first times I went to Bugs boarding, AJ gave me a copy of BFC like this. Like that, you know what I mean, what he had on last week or whenever it was. And I just watched that video. Like that video basically taught me how to ride boards. Like I must have watched that film so many times. And that like it got us into like me, like Emlyn, Ben, like all that generation, the same generation as me, we all kind of watched that, and that's kind of how we learned everything from. And that's why we kind of tried to create our own crews as such, and like try and just sort of replicate what those guys were doing. And
honestly, I mean, we should have said this to them, but I wonder if they actually realize quite how many people they did influence in your generation.
Massively. I think literally everyone I know who's a similar age to me would have got into it, or not. It's not like they saw that film that they wanted to do it, but that film like put it into perspective of like what mountain boarding actually is, and like this is what it, you know what I mean, it makes it seem like a fun thing you want to do. It's like hanging out with your friends. It's not just about
it was an all-rounder.
Because you see it you see it at like I said, the game fair, and it's like a demos, and you're like, oh, that's cool. It's a bit of a show thing, but it's not until you see like a video like that when you realize this is actually like a scene or like a sport that I could definitely see myself doing. This big impact. Yeah.
Who was your favorite BFC rider at the time when you first picked up that your first sort
it
of
had to be
impression
Steve
like...
Cowney, because everyone in the film was like, who's your favorite BFC member? And it was like Steve Cowney. So...
Oh well, Steve, if you're watching, I hope this makes up for you not being on with the boys.
I didn't. It's like it's still weird for me, because like by the time I got to like, I don't know how to say it, like a point where I don't know how to say it in the right way, but I guess like almost kind of respected in the sport. Like people started to know who I was from doing, just being around all the time. But by the time I got to that point, a lot of these guys had left.
Yeah.
So I've never really met Steve Cowney. I never really like got to know him or had a conversation with him or anything, because by the point like he would have known who I am, he'd already gone, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But
No, completely.
yeah.
There was so many riders seemed to exodus the scene for a while in the late 2000s, just as there was potentially a new breed coming in.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that when those DVDs came out, obviously that you get the immediate reaction of, oh, they're wicked or whatever, but you're not going to reap the rewards from that until a year or two down the line, when it inspires someone, you know, or that becomes a reality, or that person gets those skills to do it. I mean, Matt Brind used to watch me back at Priory for hours riding laps and stuff. And I swear he models himself on me even to this day.
I'm sure he did.
Oh, you wait till the AK one comes out. Obviously, it will be out by the time this one comes out. He gets ripped a bit in that. I gotta say, it's a good job. It's a good job. He absolutely loves it.
There was another film actually. It like the BFC one was the like main impactful one, but there was an American one as well that you just reminded me of. It's like Shoutdown. Was that
yeah?
Shoutdown?
Yeah.
Is that what it was called?
It was, I don't know who did it, but that is definitely a video, and I'm pretty sure it was
a few times as well.
It'll be Cody and that crew, I'm sure. Mason Moore and them sort of boys.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten about that one.
Yeah.
Oh,
but it's like all of these. I've got all those to thank, and obviously like the ATC crew and all of that kind of thing as well. Like massive inspiration to it. Like I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing today without any of that, because it's like mountain boarding and then filmmaking and filming mountain boarding is kind of what is like all I've tried to do since I'm not doing a film.
Were you into filmmaking before you're into mountain boarding? Was filmmaking a thing anyway?
I don't know. I was trying to think about this the other day. A lot when the very early like times of picking up a camera was mountain biking and me and my friends riding bikes, but I don't know whether that was like it was around the same sort of time. So I don't know which came first. I don't know, but it was like because me and my brother rode mountain boards, but like my friends in the village here, none of them rode mountain boards, and it was all biking. So whether I like saw the filmmaking of what BFC and that were doing in mountain boarding and was like, oh, I could film my friends biking and do the same sort of thing with those. Whether that was the connection, I don't know what came first, but all a similar sort of time. But,
and did that sort of inspire you to follow? Did you follow that at school and then college and uni and the filmmaking side of things?
I went to, after school, I went to college to study adventure education, so like instructing. And I kind of pursued that for like a year or two, and then I did college, did that, and then had a bit of a gap year, or like gap year, or whatever you call it.
Gap year.
and worked as an instructor for the majority of that. I did like standard like Camp America, and then I went and worked in a centre in Ireland for a bit. Then it got to the point where I was like going to uni, and I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I was like, well, I might as well just go to uni because I don't know what else I'm going to do, and I might as well carry on the education and see what happens. And I came across a course which was adventure media, And then that whole time leading up to that, I had been making videos for fun, not really thinking of like doing it as a job or anything like that. And then saw this a course which is adventure media, and it's like links the two and two together, like adventure sports and media. And since then that's all I've been doing. So
that's if that sort of course was available back in my day.
It's not. It's not anymore. That's it. It was like they didn't have enough people on it when I did it. I think there was 13 when we started, and then within a year, like a few people had dropped out, and it was down to 8. Right. And then there was another year after that, and then it's just stopped because there just wasn't any interest in it, which is mind blowing because everyone I've mentioned it to was like, "Oh, that sounds sick! Like if that was around with my day, I'd definitely do that." But then, it's like no one has done it, and they've cancelled it because there wasn't enough interest. So weird,
very strange. And then so obviously you graduated that with honours and all the rest, and then what happened after that?
So at uni we had a final project which was like kind of a dissertation, but kind of like just well, it could have been anything. It could have been like a series of photos or like a big project basically, where you had to write a lot about and make the actual thing. And I was like, I'm going to make a documentary about mountain boarding, and so that's where the like snowboarding but with wheels came from. And then in that film there was a whole part of it where I went to Tramper and like filmed a board being built, and that's where I met all the guys at Tramper, and I met Ted and everyone. And because that was at the end of my course, and then Ted was like, if you want to just come and work here afterwards when you finish, then you're more than welcome, and we'll put you on like a salary or whatever, like the same as the people who built the boards, and you can come and make videos for us. And I was like, it sounds like the ultimate thing. Like, but it's kind of like a difficult choice for me though, because while at uni, me and 2 other friends set up a production company while we were there, and we were doing a lot of jobs, but it was very corporate. And it wasn't really adventure-y stuff, and I obviously was still into mountain boarding massively, and I was like, am I going to leave this kind of business we've built to go and just work at Tramper? And I'm glad I did now. And so I was just like left all of that and just went and just worked at Tramper. And since then, that's kind of what I've been doing. I was there kind of working full time, but then after a year or so I went away snowboarding and stuff, and kind of came back and realized that I wanted to do other work as well, so I became freelance, and then I've kind of been doing that ever since, where it's mainly Tramper, but other bits and bobs here and there, like on a self-employed basis.
Well, I've got to say that DeWalt Christmas ad, it still goes on every year. When I stop watching Home Alone halfway through, and I play that for the adverts. I've got it on DVD, so I just pause it, and then I play that for the half time, and then I put it back on again. Guys, you should check that out on YouTube if you find it trawling. It's a cracker. So let's wind it back a bit, because we're leaving university. You've done that amazing documentary that I still really enjoy, like Snowboarding but with wheels. And it's great seeing all the community come out and have a part in that. And it's definitely if you're looking back at mountain board movies throughout, it's a milestone movie in the history, so well done on that. But going back in time again, you were, like you say, you were already making movies from a young age, and you as to your involvement in Ruddy Marvelous and the backyard jams, I know you're involved in cameras, certainly for Ruddy, but in the credits it's edited by Emlyn and that. Matt. But those those videos now, watching them, they're still really cool. You must have been like 12, 13, 14. that age.
Older than that. Older than that. I don't know what
You're
age.
only 18 now, Amon.
But that was the whole thing with the cruise. Like, we literally with Really Marvelous, like it was just a group of us that were like completely emulating the BFC and ATC and everything those guys were doing before us. We were like, let's make a film where it's like a crew of us and we just go gather shots and like make a video. And we did that like over and over because it's quite funny, like because we had a thing. Like just me and my brother and a friend in the village who wasn't even really associated with mountainboarding at all had a thing that was called like North Shore Productions, which we made a lot of like really crap videos where that was like the first ones. And then Emlyn and Ben had something called
Daydream.
No, it was Diamond Productions, or I think there might have been even something before that. But we all were like creating these little productions things because of ATC Productions, and we were like pretty much just copying. It was like we want to do that, so that's what we did. And then as we got a little bit older, like not much, it must only been like a couple of years, we like all combined together of like because it was Connor Tyson and Will McCauley as well, and who were doing a similar sort of thing, and Matt Wright. Like all of us were kind of into riding, but also into the filming side of it as well, making videos. So all of us just combined together and made like, I think I'll list it off. It was Will McCauley, Connor Tyson, Matt Wright, Ben Searle, Emlyn Bainbridge, and me were like, what did you say it was? Daydream Productions. That's it. It was like all of us together. And I think it was made.
Write them down. Search all those names out. Get them pictures.
Dan's actually jizzing in his pants talking about it. You know how much he loves like throwing a video together as well. He's like, he's just like stealing all your ideas now.
DW.
But I think that Really Marvelous video is for the film festival that they had at Bugs. Like, what's it called? ATV Junkies Film Festival.
Yeah, I
think. Because like a couple of years before that, we'd all entered like separately. I know Connor Tyson came round to my house here because I had like a few jumps and stuff in the back garden, and we made a film for
it.
Yeah.
Cue screen of Emlyn's backyard. Oh man, we got to at some point.
But so we did that, and then Emlyn and Ben did one as well, and then the year after we all teamed up and did one. But yeah, they were some of the best times like back then. It really was like just not a care in the world and just riding and filming and messing around. And
they're perfect videos to have on in the background when you're getting ready for a ride or looking for stoke, because they are. I know you like you say you're young and it's your first forays into making videos, but
it's so
fun
good.
really comes across.
Like Emlyn and Matt, but pretty much made that. I'm like. Hardly did anything in that video really, although I was like part of the crew, and it feels like a bit of in history for me, but it was definitely Emlyn.
Emlyn, Emlyn knows I'm a big fan of his work, man. Big fan.
He's a creative genius, that guy.
He is. He is. Like I said, there's something going on in his head that's vibrating above what goes on in my head. There's just a dull drone in my head. Well, let's talk about your garden whilst we're here, or your fantastic parents' garden.
They really loved you, didn't they?
Oh,
they
man.
really loved you.
I'm very, very grateful for it. Yeah, it's amazing.
First of all,
I was never allowed to dig anything. That was a really annoying thing, and that's kind of why it looked like it was because like for all the years, like going to mountain board centers and coming home, and all the mountain board centers are dirt jumps basically, and I was like just begging my parents to let me dig up the garden. They never would, so everything was made out of wood basically, and it was like scraps. Like me and my friend used to go, like I don't know whether they still do it now, but back then they used to have like a night every fortnight where people used to chuck rubbish out on the street, not like chuck out on the street, but like there's a rubbish collection night where it wasn't stuff that'd fit in the bin. It was like
Oh, like
old,
garden waste and shit.
yeah, and like old bits of wood and like chest of drawers and that kind of thing.
Yeah, you got to lump that to the fucking recycle centre yourself now.
Yeah. But me and my friend used to like just go around the village on that night collecting like old bits of plywood and stuff and bringing them back to the garden, and then just making like whatever we could out of all stuff. And then obviously my dad helped out massively. Like he has always loved building stuff, and he just like would just get, not even ask me like, oh, do you want to build this? He'd just suddenly start doing it, and then I'd clock on to what he was doing, and then I'd start helping him, and then like a few months later we'd have like a huge scaffolding tower and like a drop in like which went through his, he had like a little vegetable garden patch thing, and literally went straight through the middle of that and then over this hedge onto the other side, and it was all built out of scaffolding that he'd like managed to scavenge from his work, that it was just like left. I don't know, he probably stole it. I don't know.
I was going to say, between him going around and stealing it, and you and your mates going around stealing bits of people's furniture.
But it was all like, and then we got all these, which was pretty gnarly when you think about it. But it was like on the landing of this jump was like old conveyor belt, like belts. Like they're like 2 foot wide and they were like nailed across.
I know,
so it was
exactly
like this,
the sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like,
did you ever go XBP?
Oh yeah.
Like
So,
on the lift line there.
yeah, same as that. So it was like just not slippy at all. If you landed 90 on your wheels, like you were just off, and it really burnt as well when you landed on it. You had to like, it's gnarly. But yeah, like found some of that because underneath that was like scaffolding boards like across, so it was like all the way along, so we put that rubber stuff on the top to make it smoother. But yeah, it was like such a bodge thing. But it was wicked. Like it definitely, I wouldn't be the rider I am today without all those stuff. So I used to just get home from school and just go and ride it by myself like hours and just doing random bits.
The best childhood.
Yeah.
Does your brother still ride?
No.
So at what point did he stop getting involved with it? I mean, was he still riding when you had all this backyard set up?
A little bit, but he was kind of, my mum would describe it as like chalk and cheese, I think is what she says. Like he was kind of like inside on his computer playing video games and stuff, where I was like outside falling out of trees and breaking my arm. So like we're always different in that sense. So he kind of didn't really stick with it the same as I did.
Yeah.
But he did get, I found a video the other day actually of him like doing back threes and stuff. So he did quite well for what he did do.
Yeah. Had the right stuff, just not into it as much.
Yeah. That's how it goes.
Yeah, one of those things. And how long? So you had that from age. Obviously it didn't just all come up.
Appear.
It didn't turn into nothing overnight.
Well, no, actually, the reason why, because it was like I don't know what age it started. It started pretty early on. Like as soon as I got a board on my own, which was one of those fat face boards. Do you remember those? And there was like fat face. It was right at the end of that sponsorship thing, or whether they'd stop the sponsorship, or basically they were just flogging these boards.
They were MBS big ass, weren't they? Yeah,
sponsored by Fat Face. And then obviously
they're
cancelled the Fat Face sponsorship, whatever year that was, and they were flogging these boards. So I got one of these Fat Face boards, like insanely cheap, because they just didn't want their name on the boards anymore, I'm guessing. But they had I got one of those, and I remember like the first night I got it, pretty much we were like starting to stack up bits of wood to try and jump over. So it just developed from there. And then the RBYJS, like the Remolition Backyard Jam series, like I'd seen that I'd got a little bit of a setup in the garden, and they were like, let's do this thing at your house next year. And I was like, sick. And then from that point onwards, like we were just building to try and make it like incredible for this event, basically. And that's how it got to the point it was. Like it was quite a short time period where it was at its peak. It was like before I moved away to college, it was like a couple of years before that, or a year before that, was when we had that event. And then when I moved away to college, I think my parents just got fed up of all the crap in the field, so they like trying to get me to take it all down, which I did eventually. So now it's like the landing of the big jump is still there, but everything else is gone. I think there's like a wall ride that some sheep in the field uses to shelter, but it was thanks to Remolition is how it got to the state it did get in at one point, which is super cool.
It reminds me of Knockhill.
Yeah.
When you scan across, because the same sort of deal with there. Although we did dig into the ground a little bit, we weren't allowed to.
Yeah.
It's more like scrapes, wasn't it?
Yeah.
This Knockhill was so sick. That jump, I learned to backflip at Knockhill.
Did you? Not even on your own home?
No, because that foam pit, it was like you remember ATC did they did like training camps one year or like for a couple of years, where you could just go like hang out with them for a week basically, and like I did that and then a backflip and Knockhill.
That's
sick.
Yeah, it's good little.
I'd go on that training camp today.
Yeah, so would I.
That you wouldn't need to go on no training camp like that, Amon. Hashtag not the world freestyle champion. Where's your wooden spoon? Have you still got your wooden spoon?
I think it's at Dramper actually. It's above like one of the door of the office at Dramper.
So there's definitely no chance of us rekindling for one weekend only the backyard Remolition backyard.
I reckon we could get a few little hits together. There's still like rails and stuff that are about that probably just need a little bit of extra screws in them so they're not so wobbly and
give them a quick grind over with a brush and a good coat of wax.
And there's these like massive long, I've no idea where we got them from, but there's like huge long grey pipes that are like a foot radius. And they're so sick. Like when you board slide the whole length of those, it's so satisfying, and they're still there. Like we could easily set that up and
they're the sorts of ones that Antonio uses out in Portugal.
I
don't know whether they're waste or for carrying something. But they are cool. They work on all boards, snowboards as well. It seems like that.
Definitely.
See, and talking of snowboards, were you snowboarding before mountain boarding, or
no?
Did snowboarding come after?
No, snowboarding came after. I think we went. I maybe went for like 1 week. There was like a college snowboard trip or something, for 1 week, and then went to pleasure holidays basically. Yeah, and just learnt to snowboard there. But that was the first time I'd ever heard of you, to be honest with you. When I went to pleasure holidays.
Yeah, so I think I probably went out there one of the years that you were out there with them. And Claire, Mama Claire turned around and said, "Oh yeah, we've got Amon here as well working for us." I'm like, I don't know his name. Yeah, he's a mountain boarder. You know him. Like, honestly, Claire, I've never met this guy before. You'll love him. You wait till you meet him. And I never met you. And then you obviously were off shredding the Gina for the entirety of the week, or steering well fucking clear of you.
That's strange. That's strange though, because like because you eat together. Anyone who doesn't know pleasure holidays, like you have your meals in the evening with everyone together, like all the staff and all the guests and everything. That's weird that I never came across you.
So would you have been? Were you at the drop-in, or were you at another chalet?
I was there for 2 years, and the first year it was only. I think I came out for like a week or 2 weeks to make like a promo video kind of thing.
Right.
And then I had to go back to do some trampo stuff, and then ended up just going back out again and staying there till the end of the season. So it was like kind of there and back. Maybe you might have missed
Maybe it was in that section where you were in and out. Yeah. Because you were definitely making videos for them.
Yeah. But then the year after I went out, but then it was cut short because of COVID, so I've never actually done a full season.
So it was quite recent then, really.
Yeah. Well, 2
I
years
say
ago
recent,
now.
yeah. COVID's
Yeah.
been dragging its heels.
Yeah,
forever now,
yeah, yeah. So
Uh,
fairly recent. That it's sick out there. Like I'd love to go out in the summer as well.
Oh.
I've not had the chance to yet.
It is incroyable. Just like me, très incroyable. Yeah, well, there we go. There's one of the things that I'd like to do this summer is head to, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, Compiègne,
Yeah, that's how I'd say it. I don't know. How it's right.
And LA. But obviously,
LA's the dream. Went there before, and it was.
Is it as good as it looks?
insane. Yeah.
How long ago was that?
Probably 2 years ago as well. I reckon it was for the French champs.
Uh-huh.
Is it French champs? Yeah, but it's like we went on like a bit of a road trip thing, and there was like the border cross was at a different center, and then the freestyle was at LA. Don't know whether that was over the same weekend or maybe it was like in the week. Can't remember, but yeah, it's an insane center. That other center as well is worth going to. I can't remember what it's called. Because there's a few. It's not just LA and Compiègne in France. There's another one as well.
Is it that HXC that I keep seeing, or is that one of those two? I've seen something.
I feel like it's got riders in the name. Yeah, it's got a big quarter pipe. It's like a jump and a quarter pipe, and then the whole track is like in the woods. It's a sick track. And then they've got a like a kind of a chill out area at the bottom, and they've got a jump that goes into a lake as well, which is pretty fun.
I'm itching
to
get out there.
Yeah, if we go to, because you were saying before we should go, or was it you? I don't know, but everyone's always been saying we need to go back to France for like a week or so and go to all these. So if we do go, we need to go to that one and LA and Compiègne, like just do them all while we're there because they're all sick.
Do it in a week. Do a night at each or whatever, night ride drive sort of thing, and stop in and see the guys in pleasure on route as well.
Yeah,
bit of a tour. I'm keen as mustard. I rode Lodge de Garde back in 2006, 2007, that sort of time, and it was a woodland border cross, and it was just incredible. It was so much fun. I mean, the feeling of going through the trees, obviously it exacerbates the feeling of speed when you're riding.
Yeah.
But I mean, that track just rode really nice.
Was it a 4-man track as well, was it?
Yeah. Well, it was wide enough at the bottom to be 4-man, but we were racing it, I think we were racing it 2-man, because the top section,
through the trees.
I think from memory, the year that we was out there, they'd moved the start back up further up the hill and put up a little gate, and because they'd moved the start further up, there wasn't enough room and there's to get the 4 men down that first part, so they just did it as a 2-man race, which was novel and pretty cool, to be honest with you. But that place was just incredible, and I would love a woodland centre. That'd be an absolute dream.
Down south, where the end of the track was, it in the woods?
What, in the UK?
Yeah. What was it called?
Not sure one with.
It's like near London.
Right. Not Hill 62.
It's not fucking down south, is it? Fucking, I'm racking my brains here thinking.
Not cool.
South of Nottingham, because Nottingham's halfway to Scotland.
South of my area. I can't believe I've forgotten what it's called.
I can't recall.
Not far from Ride the Hill.
Right. Oh. I can't think.
You're not talking about Burke here, which was a mountain biking centre.
No, it's definitely purely mountain boarding.
We had Hill 62 was in Essex back in the day. Rogers Knockhill.
Yeah.
Ride the Hill in Surrey, in near Red Hill, and that was all that I could remember. Otherwise, it starts to go off towards the West Country.
Maybe it's not near London, but it's definitely south to us. Like, I'm not around that.
We're going to the geography again now.
But yeah,
that's gonna really annoy me.
I'm itching to. I love riding in the woods. I love riding in the mountains, and that trip would satisfy both of those loves.
Yeah.
Scratch a few itches.
Yeah, proper.
Are you looking to see who it is? Where?
Yeah, I've just remembered. Well, I don't know whether it's still here.
It's not in fucking Britain.
No, but I know the Champa website has like a ride guide thing, and I know that it won't have been updated for that long. So it's got to be on it.
Do you search for it using Ask Jeeves?
Oh, maybe it has gone. Yeah. No. Oh well.
Right.
It will come to me.
Yeah. While it comes to you, let's talk about like competitions.
Okay. What do you want to know?
Like when you started competing, how were you done? What seasons you done?
I don't know. I was never. Probably that started competing was probably that Battle of Bugs thing. But I didn't do
where
very
you
well.
might or might not have done a 180.
Yeah, to like, don't know what if I had done a 180, it would have been landed like before the knuckle, not even a knuckle.
just straight over the lip of the kicker and just straight on.
Yeah. So there's that, and then I remember going to a UK champs comp at Harthill, but I didn't enter. I remember going and just being obsessed with that like jib area next to the next to the hut, and just riding that the whole weekend and not entering.
I wish I'd had the foresight to put that thing on when I was living up there.
Yeah, it's sick that. And then and I don't really know. I did a lot of ATBA comps because like Rennie used to pick me up and I used to go and do them, but I can't really remember whether I've won anything. I was always in the shadow of Emlyn. I know that Emlyn always used to beat me. He's always been better than me. So yeah, I don't know. But then cream teas and jam were like kind of my forte, I guess, especially riding at Bugs a lot.
Yeah.
And we always, it's silly because like you'd think if we're riding at Bugs we'd be sick on the big jumps, but we never ever used to ride the big jumps. It was always just the little jib area. So like yeah, did a few of those and I've won a few of those. I remember winning it at Surf the Turf, which is a sick centre.
I never went to that one.
That's how I got, because I was sponsored, but I used to be sponsored by MBS, and that was how I got sponsored by MBS, winning that comp there, which was sick. That was like dream come true for me back then. It was insane.
Who would have been your teammates at that time?
My team, well, the teammates, it was all the guys, but they were like falling off by that point and stopping, like Tom Coatman and Joe Dixon and Rennie and like all the top dogs. I started doing heavyweights. Yeah, so I was like way behind. I don't know how on earth I was on the. That's the funny thing, because when I moved to college, and went to Harthill, which I'd been to Harthill a few times, but it was never my local, so I very rarely went there. And like the guys at Harthill had heard about this kid who was on the MBS team, and it was like, and now coming to their centre, or like I was going to come to their centre and live nearby. And they were like, "Who's this? What? How is he on the MBS team? What? Like, who is this guy?" Like, I don't know whether we can swear on this or not. It's like, what?
You can say whatever you want, like, my friend.
Yeah, this kid who's like shouldn't be on the team, but then yeah, I don't know. I think I won them over when I went there. I don't know how I ended up on the team. Like, it's crazy. But I was doing like, the sick part of it was I got to do the demos, like the MBS demos, and go away for like weekends with Tom and Joe and those guys, like only for about a year or so, because like they kind of stopped doing them a bit. But towards the end of that kind of era, I managed to go and do a few of them with him, which was just like unreal, because it was like that is how I started mountain boarding in the first place, was seeing that exact ramp and like at those demos, and then to like go through full circle and like be able to go and do them was insane.
I mean, I wonder what you'd have said to your younger self if, do you know what I mean? Like to have seen that on your holidays, and then like 3, 4, 5 years later, or however many years later, be a part of that. It's cool, man. It's cool, and a testament to your hard work.
But by that point, I think Emlyn got on the team by that point, or maybe, well, it was like all around the same sort of time Emlyn got on the team as well. Mm-hmm. So it was like, he came along to these demos as well. So it wasn't just me, this little kid, looking up to all these way older people like the pros, like real scared. Like I had Emlyn there by my side, like doing all the same stuff, and it was so sick. Like it was wicked. Those weekends. I remember one time we were we're at this kind of show, and we'd all gone out to the shop or something in the evening after it got dark, and then we came back and none of us had our wristbands on, or like someone hadn't given us our wristbands, and like we got to the security gate and they just wouldn't let us in. And all our stuff was in the show, so we all ended up like going back out and then jumping out the van and like all crawling around the side and like dodging the security. And like I remember Joe Dixon or someone in the van like just driving at the security, because there wasn't a gate or anything, but just tanned it through the gate. And like it was so funny, and then we were all just legging it to the campsite, and all just dived in our tents and did up the zips, and then just getting stood there like in silence waiting for it all to calm down. But it was so funny. I don't know how old I was then, probably like 15 or 16. But yeah, like living the dream. It's so much fun.
It's always carnage.
Yeah.
It's always have a certain level of carnage. It's always good fun.
Yeah.
I miss it. I'm so stoked to be back in the scene these last couple. And I keep saying it, but thanks to Steve Burke for getting us involved.
Yeah.
On the e-boards, because it changed everything, and has filtered on with Sloggett now as well. But yeah, for me, meeting you was for the first time was when you're at Tramper. So you'd probably have been working there for a year, or you wouldn't have actually been working there that long if because we made
when did I first meet you? I think I first met you properly when I came down. That
was
that wasn't that long ago.
That was just after the first lockdown. So if COVID cut short your snowboard season, you must have come back, got a job with Tramper, and that pretty much that following year was the first time.
Not that I haven't known. It feels like I've known you for ages, but actually I haven't known you for that long.
Kindred spirits. I'm just putting you in the waiting room a minute.
But then slugs. I've known you even less time, haven't I? I don't know when did I first meet you?
April.
What, this year?
This year, yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. Because Dan gave me his board when he replaced his on Good Friday this year.
Yeah.
Is it this year?
April. I went up to.
Yeah, it's this year.
Yeah.
So
was it when you did the
range test?
The range test.
No, it was when we. Oh yeah, did we do the range test on the?
Because I know you guys
came before we'd done the inner city ride. You
guys came up for a weekend when I wasn't there, I think.
Right.
And then you came up again to do the range test. I think the range test thing was when I first met you, which was, looking at it now, 6 months ago.
Yeah. Is that it?
Yeah.
I've seen more of you than I've seen a lot in that this year then.
But we've done a lot. We've done a lot, and we've ticked off a lot of decent stuff over this last year, right? For me, I mean, I feel like I'm living the dream again. I've had a second crack of the whip. Yeah,
it's been a good year, but it's just like e-boarding has changed the game really. But I really enjoy e-boarding, but like I wish mountain boarding was still kind of had the oomph it had, and yeah, it's just like the case of, well, basically need to try harder, but there's not many places to go ride, and like when you want to go riding for the day, like these at the moment, especially with guys at Tramper and stuff, with like Nathan and Sonny and everyone, it's like we want to go riding, it's just we go e-boarding, which is kind of annoying because it would be cool to do mountain boarding more. I mean, we've been going to skate parks, we've been going to like a local indoor skate park a bit recently to just do mountain boarding on the resi and stuff there.
Yeah, what is that? What skate park's that one?
It's called Asylum in Sutton in Ashfield, I think it is. It's
Sutton
wicked.
Ashfield. Is that up near Birmingham?
No, it's near
Sutton Coldfield. That is.
Near Mansfield, not far away from Nottingham.
Right.
Yeah.
I was speaking to Emlyn today or yesterday, and he said about going to some place in Cardiff, Ramp World.
Yeah, I've been there. It's pretty good there.
Is it?
It's all right. I prefer this one.
Yeah, I've not been to that one. I went skating though, and I went up. We went up 2017 and skated down. So it was a while back, because we went to see Faith No More in Cardiff. So we went there.
Yeah, it's good. I have been before. That is where I actually first met Sonny, at that skate park, I think.
Talk about worst days of your life.
It was when I was filming the mountain board documentary. I went to get an interview with Dav there, and it just seemed logical to go there to that skate park to do it. It was like in the winter time. And then Sonny was there as well, and that's where I first met Sonny. And I interviewed Sonny, but I never put it in the
film. Which is
so crazy though, because like, to be honest, like he won't mind if I say this. I didn't put him in the film because he was so bad on camera. Like really? He just was like really self-conscious, and like, and maybe because he didn't know me, or like, I don't know, I'd like just pointed this camera in his face the first time I met him, but he was like clearly quite embarrassed to be on camera, and that's why I didn't put it in the film. But nowadays it's like complete opposite. So I don't know what changed in Sonny's head with camera's feet. He can't get enough of it now.
Definitely something changed, because when I remember him as a tiny kid, like literally a proper grom,
12, 13-year-old.
If that.
But
really.
He was so small. He was probably like, he looked like a 7, 8-year-old.
Yeah. I mean, actually, I'm going to use this opportunity to say I found a picture of him at Ted's wedding recently when I was trawling.
Oh, is that where? Is it with Sam and?
Yes. Yeah. Sam's got a great big afro going on. It's cracker. Maybe I'll put it up here.
It's a funny picture, that is.
But yeah, he was quite. He sent it even back then on the board, but he wasn't the confident Sonny that comes across now.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to draw back the curtain in the Wizard of Oz's fucking castle here, but I've got so much time for the kid. I don't think it's that reciprocal, but
he's all right, I suppose, in really fucking small doses.
He'll give you a dose. He's giving you a dose. I can't just keep ripping into Sonny. So let's go back to e-boarding, because I want to give it some time here, because Oconee e-boards, we didn't talk about it that much. We don't talk about e-boarding that much on the dirt because, for a number of reasons. Mainly because I think mountain boarding itself, in its own right, needs a little bit of grease to the wheels if we can.
Yeah,
needs to take a bit of needs the limelight a bit more. For
sorry,
now.
to like chip into what you're saying, but the way I see e-boarding is like the way e-biking is in mountain biking. Like I'm into mountain biking and I follow a lot of it, but mountain bikers at the start of e-bikes, they were like these weird things that everyone was like, oh no, I'm not into that, don't want to ride an e-bike. But these days like I know they're a lot of money and not everyone can have it, but the people who do have an e-bike or probably already also have a mountain bike, and it's like the same thing. It's still going mountain biking.
Yeah.
And like you're going out for a ride, it's the same thing. You basically just go further on your e-bike.
Yeah.
And that's why you ride your e-bike, because you can keep going longer and you can get more runs in. And that's how I see, like, I go out e-boarding, I still call it mountain boarding. It's just I get way more runs in now on my e-board than I ever did on walking up the hill.
And for us older ones, electric mountain boarding means you can go on for a long. You can go out for hours.
So what I mean is, like, I'm hoping, like, in a few years to come, like, there won't be so much of that stigma around it, where it's like, oh, I'm not into e-boarding, like I'll stick to walking up hills. Like, is because at the moment there's the die-hard mountain boarders. Well, there's a reason why they're like that. It's because they've not had to go on an e-board, basically.
They've not got one.
But you know what I mean? Like, there is that bit of a stigma at the moment, but I think it will gradually disappear, because at the end of the day, it is riding a mountain board. The same. Yeah.
It's all mountain boarding to me.
Yeah.
Exactly what you said. That I feel eager to go and have a day like you say with the boys at Trampy. You wish that you'd find more time,
but it's just difficult now to do that, because there isn't the same place. It's like with mountain biking, like you ride the same trails, but on an e-board you don't really, and because there's not as many places to ride a normal mountain board anymore, so you just like, there's not really another option, which is annoying. But it's just
I had such high hopes. I mean, COVID's just fucked with everything, but when there was talk of the ATBA champs having a couple of electric events, albeit just a sort of teaser as such, but to have that running alongside the standard downhill mountain boarding, I nearly called it gravity then. Having that next to downhill as well, under the same umbrella at the same competitions, I think is real key to getting them both coexisting.
Yeah, I think it will be
the same universe.
Like, well, I don't know what I can say here. I was going to say, well, I'll say it anyway. I've got
Hey, if you get in trouble, let me know. I'll edit it out before.
Right.
You got a week or so.
But basically, like the ATBA UK and stuff, it's like been changing hands all the time. But because me, Ayla, my girlfriend, and Matt and Andy and Lee ordered EBIT, and it went so well, and we worked well as a team and stuff. So basically, that team was going to take over the ATBA basically next year.
Brilliant! That's excellent news.
And we're going to do an event at Bugs, like a ATBA UK champs comp basically. And I don't know yet. It's not really been spoken about whether we do e-boarding at the same time or not. Don't know, but EBIT's probably going to happen as well.
EBIT was phenomenal.
Yeah, it was sick.
Really I'm sitting here thinking, I've spoken to Matt today, and he didn't mention this to me, so maybe you shouldn't have mentioned it.
Yeah, maybe cut that out. What were we talking about before this?
I can't remember.
We were definitely talking about how you took over the ATBA.
No. it was about not having places to ride. Yeah, so not having places to ride.
Not having places to ride. There's only Bugs left now.
The problem is though, Matt. You should cut it out. But Matt's like on the fence about, like, he's busy, right? And he never wants to commit to organising everything, because he just wants to have fun and ride and stuff. But maybe me saying this now would just a bit of pressure to make him actually do it.
Maybe I'll tell you what we do.
We need Matt and his spreadsheets. He can't do it without his spreadsheets.
Matt is Mr. Mountain Boy in this country. Nothing's happening without him. But what I was going to say we could do is, rather than cut it out, if we just blur your face out during this part of the conversation and put a different voice, Oh, bless. again, another kid I've got so much time for these days. You know, I feel so in kind with yourself, Slogs, Emlyn, Ted, and the boys up at Tramper, Matt, and James Wanklin. That you're all so stoked for mountain boarding, and it's just so easy to feed off of you all and build my own momentum. And I, in an ideal world, what we're doing here with the podcast and stuff is hopefully doing the same for other people.
Yeah,
you know, that's the ultimate game, or the ultimate aim, rather,
to reignite the sport.
Yeah, right. Or just reignite it in somebody's belly. You know, there's one of the lads, I'm never going to remember his name now, taking his kid out to go mountain boarding after watching an episode of this and talking about getting the kids back on board.
Oh, yeah. I don't know his name either. I did see it on
that.
Pages.
That's just a win. That's just an absolute win, because those kids now might spark inside of them, and they might be the next generation. But they will all be riding e-boards, I'm sure, in that day. It'll be done via mind control.
You'll be fucked then, won't you?
Yeah. I'll just get ask Frank to hardwire in a vest straight into my brain. To be fair, the way the hard drives are going, I could do with an update of that as well, because my memory's so shot.
Oh, what, from recording these podcasts?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I can't show you my camera. Like, the hard drive's such a pain. Like, it's constant. I've got, how many is it now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 separate, like, 6 terabyte hard drives on my desk, and then
just footage.
Keep filling them up, and then especially with things like, I was trying to make a show reel the other day, because I don't have a show reel and I needed one, but like trying to find everything, and then I know pretty well where everything is, because I can't keep track of it, but like, because there's so many now, I can't have them all plugged in at once, so like I have to keep reconnecting them and like taking them out, and then to get footage, and then like take them off and put it on somewhere else, and I hate it. So if you keep recording these, Dan, you've got all that to come for sure.
I've been looking at hard drives over the last week.
I'll send you some links.
Yeah, please do. Send me one. Because and actually at the start of this conversation, I hope it doesn't happen whilst we're doing this, because it'll be rubbish. It said your hard drive space is running low on it. That's it, we're going to start. But I'm sure it probably saves about 3 or 4 different versions.
I'm sure this saves online, doesn't it? And you download it.
You can do it on a cloud, but I just for ease and speed, I'll just do it onto the computer. But
guys,
whether I should.
Can we just talk about mountain boarding? You were boring as shit.
Fine, we're talking. Eamon, that weekend of coming up to hang out with you guys and geeking out on this sort of stuff, we'll get that organised, and Slogs can go
another time, man.
Slogs can go and stop with Sunny or something. So they can.
I'll go and lick windows with Sunny.
They can go watch the videos of themselves in the corner. I'll be and Dad actually work out how to make them.
Look, well, I tell you what. Let's go straight back into mountain boarding. I am gonna have to go and find this now, because stupidly I haven't brought it up on the phone. But I'm hoping that it is quite close to the top. And it's viewers' questions time. Where are we? And it has come in. Is it on this one? I found a feed from him. There we go. So this is coming from your right hand man, and he's we've not had no videos this week. I'm very disappointed in the community. But at least the questions aren't involved around sexual exploits with your parents.
Yeah.
Right, so this one is coming from Emlyn Bainbridge, who obviously knew exactly who that picture was up that we put up. And I tried not to put too much of the triple colour helmet in.
Yeah.
But obviously those who know you from that age are going to know that backyard ramp there. And he's actually given us 2 questions here.
Okay.
One, I feel, is going to be easier to answer, so I'm going to give you that one first.
Okay.
And I think the other one might have a little bit of story too, so we'll give that one time a bit of air to breathe, shall we say. So the first question is, what's your favorite mountain board edit? I'm assuming he means all time. I'm assuming you could say your own. You could say whatever you want.
Well, it has to be like this.
Like this.
It has to be, yeah.
The inspirational one.
Yeah, or like there's some honourable mentions. The Radmag, like ATC when they went to Europe and made one. I think with Dylan Warren in it and stuff. That was sick.
I don't think I've seen that one.
I don't know whether it's online anymore.
I was going to say, I don't think I have.
Have you not seen it?
No.
I try and find it. It's one of those ones where I've like always been in my memory, and like every now and then I'm like, I want to watch that again, and I've like tried to find it, and like really it's a real struggle to find it.
It's probably on one of them 6 hard drives that you've got sat over there, eh?
Can we not go back?
Yeah, like this.
That was the Courchevel one, wasn't it? The one, the trip to Courchevel in it.
Yeah.
With Beeran's Rock, as we now calling it.
Yeah.
Beeran's Rock. Every time that film gets mentioned, all I get in my head now is pretty colours, red, yellow, green, and paint Dave.
and Dave on that like zip line thing.
Yeah,
I always picture that.
They were brilliant.
Yeah.
So anyway, his second question was, how did you get to be called Chaffing Saw?
Oh no.
Oh no.
Chaffman Shaw.
Chaffman Saw.
Chaffman Saw, yeah, that was it. So we went to, it was me, Emlyn and Will Fox drove to Slovenia, which was like, it's such a cool trip in itself, just driving there. But yeah, we drove all the way to Slovenia to the World Mountainboard Championships in 2018, I want to say it was, I think. And really hot day, and I was just wearing swimming trunks, and I was filming this competition, and like all day running around this center like in swimming trunks without any boxes on underneath, filming. And by the end of the day, I didn't really know it was happening, but by the end of the day I was in absolute agony from like chasing from these shorts. And like it was the end of the competition, and we went into town, like there's like a party, like a bar everyone went to and stuff. And I had to just call it. It was so bad. I was just like, I'm going home. I can't enjoy this party. And like, I went home and had an early night, and Will and Emlyn have called me Chaffing Saw ever since. But it really was horrible. It was bad, like really bad.
Probably not help. The sun probably don't have much UV protection either.
No.
Along with I'm assuming a nice net carriage.
yeah, that was it. That was the problem with the net.
Oh.
Yeah, I think if I'd have worn some boxes underneath, I'd have been all right. But just the swimming trunks is not a good idea in the dry, dusty mountain board centre.
Oh.
Good question, Evelyn.
Let me see if I can find that. I'm sure there was definitely somebody else who got another one right, but I can't remember.
Did you have some wrong guesses?
No, not so much. The people who I don't get people answering if they don't know.
Don't know for
Do
sure.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have to say, I can't find. I think it was Nash who got it right, the other one, but didn't send me through a question. I think I sent him a message saying, send me one, but he didn't send it through. But hey, I've got to mention this honourable mention to Joe Jones. Now, unfortunately, it's not out yet, but it will be out by the time this one goes out. We interviewed Akoni Karma, and he sent me a message, unfortunately too late. Now, this obviously isn't the question too, but I thought, if you don't know about this, this is incredible. He was going to ask, he said, "Oh, have I missed the opportunity to ask Akoni about the mental FBI most wanted ending of Earthboard?" And I said, What? And I said, "Be prepared. I'm willing to believe anything with a clickbait line like that." And he sent me through, and either he's gone to extreme lengths to fuel this fire of craziness in my head, or he's lifted some text from places, and I think it's the second. But the guy apparently, the fraudulent offer and sale of stock of Earthboard Sports USA Incorporated. He basically obtained 5.1 million from at least 66 different investors, saying that he had some deal with Vans for a likewise stock, like go into business. Made himself, yachts, beachfront homes, and all this sort of shit. And yeah, basically the FBI come after the bloke for all this falsities, and chase him down. That was how Earthboard ended. Was Earthboard before your time?
Yeah, I've heard of it. But I don't. Yeah, before my time.
Yeah, and I had never heard that story. Joe Jones, if you've lent me down the garden path on this,
it sounds like you.
I don't know.
It's incredible.
It sounds pretty crazy, but it's not the kind of thing you'd just make up, is it?
Well, no.
You met Joe Jones, didn't you?
Yeah, he does have a tendency to enjoy wind up, but I've given you like the short version. That the text that I could have read from could have gone on for ages. There's like, it was strollable, so hence the reason why I assume it's been lifted from somewhere else. But yeah, God, I wish we'd have got that question into AK, because maybe he might have had a bit more of an idea, because he rode for him at one point. But hey ho, get back in touch, AK. Tell me what happened.
Yeah, interesting.
So yeah, no more readers' wives for us tonight. Sloggett, have you got your 10 set?
Certainly have. All right, mate.
Looking forward to it.
Right, so don't think about it too much. Just throw it out there, right? Yeah?
Okay.
Goof or reg?
Goofy.
Film or ride?
Whoa.
Well, this is you said just say it, but I've got to before the session decide one or the other these days, because I just get really frustrated if I try and do both, because I either go home either not riding enough or go home with not enough footage, which is both really annoying. So
you can't satisfy both.
Before I go riding, I've got to decide, especially with the e-boarding, I've got to decide whether I leave the board in the car and do filming, or I just ride my board these days. Sorry, that's a long answer to you.
No, that's fair enough, man.
Your
heartstrings are pulling, aren't they?
It depends which one I did last time. Depends on the weather. Depends on who riding. Depends on if we need to film. Yeah.
So does one stoke you as much as the other, just in a different way?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So if you don't get a ride in, as long as you've got a good edit out of it, you're still going home smiling.
Yeah.
Fair enough then, isn't it? Right. Favourite centre, past or present?
Bugs.
That's past and present then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one though. It is good there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
where I grew up, basically, at Bugs boarding.
Well, this year was the first year I'd ever been there.
Really?
Yes, I'd never been Bugs before, and I've been there probably 3 or 4 times this year, I reckon. No, maybe 3.
Yeah.
But
I used to on a Friday night after school, back when you used to get rail cards and the trains weren't an absolute fortune. I think it was like a 10 quid or 15 quid or something to go to Gloucester from here, and used to turn up. Bugs or AJ used to pick me up from the station
With your tent.
with my tent and my board, and spend all weekend riding with Emlyn and Ben.
That man needs a bit of credit, as we said. AJ.
Yeah. AJ like that. Like, sorry, I've really gone off your 10 set here, so we'll come back to it. AJ, like, a huge part of riding for me. Like, he gave me, like, when I snapped my board I was talking about earlier, the fat face one, I snapped it at Bugs one day, and AJ didn't hesitate to get me an old like high board out the shed and give it to me so I can keep riding. Like, stuff like that is done for me the whole way through. So massive thanks to AJ.
Yeah, AJ, Bugs, Nina.
Yeah, and Bugs and Nina, like, just they were parents to me basically back then, and still are really. It feels like family going to Bugs even now.
Oh, that's good for you.
Yeah.
And everyone who talks about their local centre when they come on,
it probably says the same thing.
It's the same thing, but they
yeah,
give
but
a
that's
shout
what it
to
is.
different people. It just shows that these centres were an important part of people's growing up.
Yeah, 100%.
Because they spent a lot of time there. Like, they used to do at Ride the Hill. We used to do annual passes, and the parents would just buy them from at the start of the year. And they could come every day of the week if they wanted, whatever days were open.
Yeah.
And it did become like babysitters.
It's like a youth club. I know, like Hales.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah.
Like Hales was the same. Like, there's a load of kids at Hales. Well, they're not kids anymore, but they all went there, and like Mark Hale and stuff were like a father figure to those kids. And like, they've come up from a young age and still part of that crew to this day. Like, so obviously there's some bad influences in there and good influences, but like, it's that whole family thing, isn't it though? Like, it's special. Yeah.
Every family's got that whacked up uncle anyway.
Yeah.
That everyone loves, which is why mountain boarders are all such nice people, because it's.
Yeah. Well, I'm not saying Nina and Burke, like that whole Bugs. A lot of it was like, I had my first Stella when I was very young at Bugs boarding. Like, they teach you life lessons.
Right. Favorite rider? You can have past or present on that.
It doesn't have to be best rider either.
No,
Scotty chose his. Scotty chose Andy Brewdog. We've had a lot of Tommy K's. We've had Leon Leon Robbins.
Tom Kirkman, like, definitely up there for me. Like, is the guy I looked up to for the whole riding career, really, and still do now, to like filming and everything. But I don't know, like, load of good riders. Don't know, that whole crew, and like Reece Crilly and stuff were like, used to look up to loads, still do. And Emlyn as well. It's still Emlyn's probably my favorite rider, just because I know it's going to be an awesome session when I'm riding with Emlyn.
Yeah, he's your boy, isn't he?
Yeah.
You're my boy, Blue. You're my boy.
Right. Freestyle or BX?
Freestyle.
But you're a fucking good BX rider as well.
Yeah, but it's never been a thing for me at all. I just do it because it's happening. Like, at a comp or whatever, when I've not ridden many times. Like, I went into filming comps and stopped riding comps quite early on, but I only ever did border crosses because that's where everyone was, and they wanted to ride the freestyle with me. So, yeah.
All right. Park or free ride?
Park.
Front side or back side?
Front side 3s, back side 180s.
Yes.
I think someone else has said that, isn't it? One of the BFC lads said that.
Yeah. I know Reece was down with the backside ones.
Backside ones.
Freaking love a backside.
Yeah.
Mountain or woodland?
Woodland. Nothing better than riding an e-board on like single mountain bike tracks in the woods.
Yeah, that. That's where I'm at the moment. Best border cross track? When you just said you don't like border cross.
Out to grass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's had a couple shouts as well.
It was pretty incredible back in the day.
Yeah.
Big air or rails?
That's a difficult one. I don't know. I'd say big air now, but back in the day I would have said rails.
Was you a rail rat, were you?
Yeah, I'm scared of rails though these days.
Yeah.
I've not actually hit a rail in ages. I need to do that. Yeah.
I've gone off rails. I broke 3 ribs on a rainbow rail on my skateboard about 18 months ago. Don't like them anymore.
Yeah, I don't really know why I stopped liking rails.
I smashed my chin open.
I never really had anything like that where I've like had like a bad situation on one. I just stopped.
Maybe we all need a rail session next time we see each other.
We definitely let's do that. But like board slides, I used to be able board slides are one of the first tricks I learned before doing threes or anything.
Were they?
Yeah, just because it was like, I don't know, it was just something that I saw the other guys doing and I was like, that's sick, I want to do that. And I remember just like when I was younger, just like almost doing it like drills, like just constantly doing it, constantly stacking until I
hug the barrel, get down low, arms out forward, keep your weight.
So I used to just do board slides with my eyes closed, but now like they scare me, which is super annoying. Yeah, you leave stuff like that. But yeah, let's have a rails session next time.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Right,
go on.
No.
Right.
I
got 2 more.
every 10 set, I'm like that.
It's good because it opens up other stuff come up. And like,
go on, Dan. What are you going to say? Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say the rails on snowboards doing rails on snowboard made me want to come back and ride more rails on mountain boards again.
Okay.
I those little fun parks in France. What's the one under the main lift coming up? Verdun.
Yeah.
Fun park there. Those boxes and rails in there were just so much fun.
I think that's maybe what put me off board slides though. Actually,
really?
when I think about it, yeah, because I was always so because like learning board slides on a mountain board and like on the MBS boards or on the Pro 100 and at the 95 had the same. It's like a little curve underneath,
that sort of beveled.
Yeah. So like it was like never a chance that you're going to catch your edge doing a board slide. Yeah. But then that's all that went through my head doing it on a snowboard is like, the edge is just going to stick on this rail.
Any second there.
So I think that's actually what stopped me doing board slides. Yeah.
Right.
Well, don't go snowboarding this winter. Get your rail back out. Get your poly pipe back from your mum and dad.
Well, get down the end of that garden. Well, start digging through all the weeds and get it out.
We haven't even spoken about it. Why I'm stood up this whole time and not sat down. But when I'm better, I will. I will do some rails. Yeah.
All right. It's a date. Right. Flip or spin?
Spin.
Right. Last one. Favorite tramper rider?
Oh,
well,
at least you're working from home at the moment, so whoever you do upset.
Do you know the worst bit about this is? Yeah, the worst bit about this is that whoever he chooses is going to be, that's cool. But there's not just going to be one pissed off person. There's going to be 5 of them all going, could have fucking chosen.
No, it's actually it's funny actually. I was thinking about this earlier because I was thinking Slogs are going to ask me the 10 set, and at the end, because I've listened to all the podcasts, he always does this thing where he's like, I'm starting beef with some riders today. We are. I knew you were going to ask me that or like similar question, and it's an easy one to answer because like I'm always keen for going riding, and if I was at Tramper working the day, like don't know, filming wheels or something shit like that, and we wanted to go riding in the evening, if I went into the workshop and was like, who's coming riding, Nathan would always say yes out of anyone. Like Sonny would make some shit excuse like he's got to go do something or I don't know what, but like without fail Nathan will always be up for it. So Nathan for sure.
It's a good shout.
So, and I'm saying that because now Sonny and that everyone else has got to put their ideas up and
damn right.
For coming riding.
Damn right. If Sonny wants to maintain his bloody open championship, or if he thinks he can muster up the bloody Masters this year, good luck. He needs to get the practice in now. I've been out here doing my squats, my lunges. Every day's been leg day since the summer.
What, the summer where he fucking embarrassed you?
Well, he might have. He got lucky. He got lucky.
What I'll do.
He had what, maybe 100 more goes on the time trial than me, and everyone else. The E-bit thing, he fouled me, and then my watch, my bloody trigger stopped working. He fouled me. There should have been someone running on with a red card for that. The camera was that far away, but what you'll see is it actually went like this. Have you ever seen that old picture of Paul Gascoigne's nuts getting squeezed by Vinnie Jones like that? That's what he was doing up the back.
That's what you got on your duvet, isn't it?
Yeah. I've zoomed into it, just a picture of somebody cupping.
He was quite hands-on in that racing at Ebit.
Yeah, I loved it. I gotta say.
No, the E-Prix, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a great.
So good
race. That was. I really enjoyed that.
Yeah. All props to you, Ayla, Lee, Andy, and Matt for putting on Ebit, because that was a proper highlight.
It was so much fun doing that. Like, it was quite. I mean, it was a lot of work to put it on, but it was all really worth it, and it was
slick.
So much fun as well.
Yeah, it was a slick operation you pulled off as well.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
I mean, there have been some strange ways of proving your prowess, but those podiums of you
it was embarrassing. But the thing is, though, we all wanted to, like, we only put on that event because we wanted an event like that to happen, and no one else was doing it.
Exactly.
It's like we weren't going to put the event on and not take part.
No, of course. And you guys all won it fair and square. And there's no complaints from anybody, as awkward as it was.
And then the other thing is, like, the other way of explaining it is, I literally just can't help when in a race situation. I just become this person who just like that. Well, there's when you're in a race, the goal is to win it, isn't it? So
yeah,
that's what I'm thinking about when I'm in a race. So I wasn't thinking about like, oh, it's going to be really embarrassing when we're on the podium at the end. It was just like, I want to win.
It wasn't. I didn't think it was embarrassing. I thought it was fucking hilarious.
It was funny, yeah.
It really was.
I got to say that the new lines that opened up with the use of the electric at Bugs.
So good.
I mean, well, it was my undoing. Andy bloody pipped me on that the very last corner over the line. He cut me on the inside, and for all the years of riding Bugs, I've never cut on the inside there, because you come down on a normal mountain board and you just ride that berm out, or you pop over it towards the quarter pipe and then spin a little whatever off the quarter.
Yeah.
And of course, every race that day, I'd still been taking that same line. But what I should have done was just done what them guys were doing, and you know how Beeren got him in that final. He used that same technique.
That race was bit because I was doing the same as what Andy was doing. I like in those corners at the top, I was focusing on getting the inside line and getting in front of everyone that way. But my board was set up for acceleration, and like by the end of that straight, I was a bit of a distance in front of people because of those first corners. But then by that point, I had Beeren, which was on like a 60-mile-an-hour board or something stupid, just getting faster and faster coming up behind me. And it was so close at the end because he was like, yeah, it's insane. It was a really good race. I bet it was fun to watch.
It was. And there's some really good footage of it as well.
Yeah.
It was absolutely cracking. I can't wait for the rerun. Hey, any help you need from us, guys?
You're making the medals again. They are awesome.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you very much. Happy, more than happy to do that again. Just let us know. Let us know the dates, and let me know a little bit in advance, and we'll get some good wood selected.
Yeah.
Good
word. So yeah, I suppose we haven't even mentioned the fact that you are standing.
Yes.
Throughout this whole thing, and do you want to explain to the viewers or the listeners?
It's not very exciting, really. It's quite grim. I think no one really knows, but could be to do with the fact I've fallen on my bum throughout mountain boarding over the past however many years. But there's a thing like on your lower back, just above your bum, basically, called a pyonal sinus. I think that's what it's called. I'm learning as I go along, but basically that got infected due to like just ongoing falls on it, I think, or so the doctors think. I got infected about a year ago or 2 years ago, like swelled up horribly, and then got rushed to A&E. They then got rushed to go have surgery and get it like drained out, and had like a whole thing there where it was like a big hole in my back basically, and I had to get filled up every day with like padding so it healed from the inside out. I'm probably
like seaweed.
Yeah, I'm probably going into too much detail here. It's very grim. But I don't really know, but that might have not worked properly, and it basically healed. It didn't heal from the inside out and left like a little air pocket in there. And then, so over the past year or 2 years or so, it's just been causing me problems like on and off all the time, like especially if I'm sat down editing for any longer period of time. It's quite painful, and every now and then it will like flare up and stuff. So basically,
does it affect your riding?
Doesn't really affect my ride. Well, it does affect my riding in the way that I do wear butt pads all the time now. Every time I go riding, and I'm just a lot more careful with my riding. I think ever since then, I'm a lot more like kind of calculated with what I do. Before I used to be very much just like send it and see what happens, but now I know that falling is way more serious and could have like more consequences for me. So I like a bit more calculated with what I do. But so now they've basically done surgery on it again to remove that whole part of my back that's causing that problem. It's the sinus, or the pyonal sinus. So they've removed that completely now, so it doesn't cause any more problems. And now they've stitched it up instead of leaving it open. So hopefully we won't have like an air pocket in there anymore. So hopefully after a month or 2 months or so it's going to take to heal now, I should be better than I have been over the last however many years.
Perfect.
Probably should still wear butt pads when I'm riding. I probably will now. I've got into a good habit doing it. But for the time being, can't ride, can't sit down, can't drive. But hopefully it won't be too long. I just got to try and make sure it heals up right, so it's like it doesn't cause any problems in the future. But I think it's quite a common thing. So people probably, I don't know, maybe Slim, but other people listening might have had a similar sort of experience. I think it is more common than you realise.
Right.
There's a lot of people who I've come across since having it that like had similar things. So
I've always been an advocate of butt pads.
Yeah. I wear the snowboard. Those snowboard ones. I hated when I was a kid. My mum used to try and get me to wear them. She used to try and get me to wear all the pads, and like now I wear no pads whatsoever, but these butt pads. But they're like thin. They're like really thin. You don't even know you got them on, but they're like they go hard when the pad impact.
Oh, that D30.
Yeah, so they're like, because I hate how pads really restrict you when you're riding, and I got to a point where I was like not relying on my pads when falling off, but when you don't wear pads, you've learned to fall in a way that, because like I always thought, like how often are you actually falling onto your elbows and your knees? I don't know, I never really did, and nowadays I fall off my board all the time, but I've never got grazes. I'm probably saying this now, and I probably now will end up with loads of grazes, but I've never got cuts or anything where the pads are. So like, just learned to do it.
Well, I've had a few knee ones over the years, and they're because it's underneath your pad. If you don't wear pads and then you get a knee injury, it don't heal for ages. You can't put a pad over the top.
I'm not saying people shouldn't wear pads at all. People should wear pads, but I've learned to, I don't know, I just
wear what you need.
I haven't got on with pads. I never have. I just felt restricted and kind of feel more safe riding without them. But that is not, I'm not saying that's a good idea for anyone else. I'm not a good advocate for
that. That's it. You make your own choice in this life. Make your own choices. you can look cool, or you can have a long career with very little injury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am thinking that we have sort of covered the general ground here, with where we're up to in modern day Amon. Slogs, what other joyous little nuggets have you got left in your tank to ask Amon over this?
Nothing. I'll ask Amon if he wants to ask, say anything else, really. Is there anything you want to say or give a shout out to? Apart from your dad for being the most epic dad in the world, for setting up that backyard jam.
Shout out to my dad for helping me. Well, shout out to my dad for helping me build stuff and supporting me, and my mum. And like, my mum never has liked to watch me ride or like be a part of it, but she has supported me from a distance the whole way through. So thankful for that, and thanks to my girlfriend Ayla now for supporting me just getting in with the scene and like wanting to come to mountain board things and doing stuff, which is like,
you've got yourself very lucky there, my friend. Very lucky.
Yeah.
Thanks to all the Tramper guys and Ted and stuff. Basically, like, yeah, just I'm living the dream, really. Like, I just get to ride all the time and film riding. That is my job, which sounds pretty crazy to say, but just you'd never really think that you could do that in this day and age in mountain boarding, but somehow I've managed to fall into that. But it's only thanks to everyone around me who's let me do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and thanks to you guys doing stuff like this.
No, hey, at the end of the day, Amon, you might be younger than us, but you inspire us as older people. Inspiration doesn't come with a generation gap. Like you find it wherever. I wouldn't be sat here with doing camera stuff if it wasn't for you. It's been mega. It's been mega. You've helped fuel mine and Slogs' stoke for mountain boarding, and we both thank you for that, mate. We really do.
I'll never forget that Snowdon trip with the three of us.
Yeah,
I'll never forget that. It's like something I could take with me now, no matter what happens after. Like from now on in, I've got that. And
we've got more to come.
Good.
I know,
definitely
more to come.
2022 is going to be a good year. Omnicron, that transformer or whatever it is, Omnicron the transformer.
I need to get Ted to all right, it's the traveling thing at the moment. It's been difficult with COVID and stuff, but we should be able to go on some trips, hopefully, sometime soon. And Ted will help us go make some videos, like do like what Tom Copeman and BFC and stuff did back in the day, going off Euro touring and making videos, and hopefully we can do the same.
Yeah, it'd be nice to do I tell you what I'd really like to do would be to do a good old-fashioned, whatever style it is, but a good old-fashioned riders video with, a rider or a couple of riders have a tune and it's their section filmed over the course of a season. 100%. And to put out something like that every year or once a year or even every couple of years.
Yeah, I want to do, because like the whole Tramper YouTube and stuff. I've been through like loads of different phases with it, of trying to do like weekly videos or bi-weekly videos, and like I'm thinking next year I kind of want to do monthly videos, but make that monthly video way bigger and way better than any of the weekly videos have been, in that kind of style. Like we still do the same trips and we still do the same things, but it's all combined into a longer, more polished kind of film with riders' parts and like. So yeah, we should definitely do more of that kind of thing.
Oh, definitely. We're all, certainly me and Slugs, are ready to throw down and start pushing our boundaries. Definitely.
Yeah, I can't wait for next year. Looking forward to it.
So yeah, that's about it. I think we're coming out out of the end of your episode, Amon.
Right. Well, do you want me to leave? Do you want me to leave now? Then you two can start getting really geeky with the rest. I'd rather go and do the fucking dishes and listen to that.
It's all right. My speed dial goes the wife, well, and it is in second, and Amon's just slightly above there.
I don't know. Maybe we should do a filming episode.
Yeah,
we're interested, and Slugs can sit out if he wants.
Well, this is the thing. Obviously most mountain boarders who are or most people who are involved with mountain boarding are riders, but there are some people who aren't as much in the limelight as your top riders as such. And I'm hoping to try and entice some of those out of the woodwork. Whether they'll get as many views or listens or whatever, I don't know, but I think that there are some people that are integral to the story of mountain boarding that don't necessarily get the airtime that they should. And hope, although we're quite privileged in that, I think we're getting some quite big names on there. There are lots of people that have agreed to come on, that we're still, at one a week, it's going to take a long time to get round everybody, that we want to speak to. But
that's good though. Like, hopefully it's going to last for a long time.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt. I mean, we're now, you'll be episode 7 or so, I think, 7 or 8, maybe. Maybe more if this doesn't get released in order. But yeah, we've now all the time we can find the time to come and sit down for an hour or two a week with a new person that has a story to tell, then I think we will do.
Yeah, it's not like it's a chore, is it? No. It's been brilliant. It's been really entertaining for us. Like, you come off a podcast, you're like, oh, I've just had a really good time, just mates of mine.
I
can't get to see all the time. And it's ideal. It's fun rather than a chore or anything.
Yeah, definitely.
Plus, it gives me a reason to phone people in this way. Like, there's a bit of that. Sometimes you're not spoken to a person for a while, and I wonder what they're up to. And I've got plenty of people like that in the mountain boarding, and this gives a reason to speak to them.
Yeah, definitely.
I won't go into it, otherwise we'll end up giving guests away that are on the list as such. But yeah, hopefully we're not peaking too soon, and we'll just keep banging them out, because I'm enjoying it, and all the time people want to hear them, then we will do them.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. And I love podcasts in general, like, so it's sick to see something like this in our in our scene, or in our little world, as it were. Like, there's something to listen to, and even on whatever episode you're on now, I like look, if it's the new week, like I'm going to listen to it while I'm driving. I used to do a lot of driving, since I'm not standing up all the time. But it's just good to just whack it on and listen, and then I love it. So nice one.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for coming on as well, mate.
Yeah, dude. We're all going to disappear from the screen when I press the button. I'll probably speak to you over the next few days.
And we'll see you soon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anticipate another little parcel, maybe the end of next week or something.
I look forward to it.
Heal quickly, man.
Yeah, man. Heal up foot fast. Come back to us soon. See you all later.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Much.
Cheers,
Bye-bye.
Amon.
Bye. Bye-bye.